What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And the comments by Jurgen Klopp where he said that Liverpool don't want to sign more players caused huge uproar among the Liverpool fans. So I want to actually clarify Jurgen Klopp's comment and what exactly he said, and also I will give my opinion. But let me know, do you think Liverpool have enough players and a strong enough squad to win the Premier League title this season? Because I saw many other people's Premier League predictions and Liverpool are never mentioned, almost never mentioned as a title winning team. I also saw on the BBC that 20 pundits predicted the Premier League and not one predicted Liverpool to win the Premier League title. So let me know in the comments below, do you think that's a good thing or not, and what do you think about Jurgen Klopp's comment? And if you enjoy these videos, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I want to say a huge thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring my channel for this month. OneFootball is the home of football, my favorite app. I've been using it for years. You can find all kinds of football news on there, and also you can find the stats, the latest transfer news. I've been going there almost every day checking the Liverpool transfer news because they combine the best and most interesting transfer news and football news. And you can find also interesting videos, stats, analysis, fantasy football tips, and all kinds of interesting football related content on the OneFootball apps, and it's completely free. So what are you waiting for? Make sure to download OneFootball using the link in the video's description, and you support the channel as well that way. So first of all, my opinion, I think it's a good thing that Liverpool are flying under the radar. I think many people are writing us off, and this was the same situation where we ran Man City very close like 3 seasons ago when we got 97 points, and even when we won the title with 99 points, not many people predicted Liverpool to win the title. They said Liverpool could never do another season like that and we will fall away and Man City will just walk the Premier League title, and in the end we wiped the floor with Man City, winning the title by almost 20 points. It was an unprecedented season by Liverpool, collecting 99 points. I don't think we are going to get 99 points again. I think we are aiming for a 90-point season. Many people are writing us off because our front three, except Salah, wasn't firing on top, and of course Virgil van Dijk is coming back from a long injury, Joe Gomez as well, and also we didn't sign a lot of world-class players in the summer. But I think we are actually almost as strong as when the season was, when we won the 99 points and the title. But let's talk about what exactly Jurgen Klopp said. It is summer and the transfer window is open and everyone expects some player signing, but we will see what happens. Let's go through the squad. Do you want to buy a new fullback, a new goalkeeper? We already have good players there. In midfield we have players with a lot of experience, such as Thiago, Fabinho, Henderson, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita. In addition, we have exciting young boys in Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones. In attack, we have Sadio Mane, Firmino, Salah, Jota, Shaqiri, Minamino and Origi. I've definitely forgotten someone. If you want to buy such players, you have to spend a lot of money. We do not have to do that because the players are already here. You have to make changes from time to time, but then there must be room to do it. We do not want more players. If something happens somewhere, something can happen somewhere else. But it makes no sense to add more players, and I think this is the key bit that many people have overlooked. Jurgen Klopp didn't say Liverpool are not making any more transfers. Liverpool, I think Jurgen Klopp said, because we have a maximum 17 foreign players in the squad already registered, we need to move on players and we can't add more players to the squad because Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp doesn't like a big squad. He doesn't like to have a squad as big as Man City's squad. He wants to get everybody involved. And also Fabrizio Romano said that Shaqiri has completed personal terms. He agreed contract with Olympique Lyon, and it's the contract is ready for Shaqiri to sign a 3-year contract. Shaqiri is now pushing to join Olympique Lyon, but Olympique Lyon are already offering a very low 6 million euro fee with add-ons, which could rise to 8 to 9 million. But obviously Liverpool want more, so no agreement yet, talks ongoing. And I think this is what Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has referred to, that we need to sell foreign players like Shaqiri or Origi in order to have a space to add a player or two players. And this is exactly the words from Jurgen Klopp. If something happens somewhere, for example, Shaqiri getting sold, something can happen somewhere else. So if Shaqiri is sold, then Liverpool will buy a new midfielder, I'm pretty convinced. And of course, it makes no sense to add more players in the view of Jurgen Klopp, because he thinks that Liverpool need to operate on a pretty sensible budget, and also we need to operate on a tight, close-knit group of players. We don't want to have 6 midfielders or 6 £50 million players sitting on the bench like Manchester City, because just Liverpool just don't have the money, don't have the wage budget, don't have the transfer budget to fit in that many players into the squad. And it also is a waste. Having Shaqiri earning high wages, he's probably on like 80 or 90k weekly wages, and having him sit on the bench for most of the season doesn't make sense. When Liverpool can sell him for maybe £10 million is the maximum that I think we can get for him. And also we can get his wages off the wage bill, and then we can go in and sign a midfielder, somebody like Renato Sanchez or Saul. I still think Liverpool will sign one of those 2 players. Those are the players that are the most linked to Liverpool. Or maybe we will sign somebody like somebody like Doku, Jeremy Doku. Patson Daka already went to Leicester. Jeremy Doku is an interesting one because he's only 19 years old. He could be signed right now because he's below 20 years old, so he doesn't exceed the 17 foreign player squad slots that Liverpool already have. But I think that we are looking at other targets, and as I said, I'm pretty convinced that Liverpool will sign a midfielder, somebody like Renato Sanchez or Saul. So what this basically means is that if Liverpool don't sell either Nat Phillips, Divock Origi or Xherdan Shaqiri, we are not buying any players. But because Shaqiri is already in talks with Lyon and he's already agreed personal terms, I think it's very, very highly likely that Liverpool will sell Shaqiri and sign somebody in his place in terms of the squad. The big question is, will Liverpool sign an attacker or a midfielder? Judging by Jurgen Klopp's comments and the fact that he's counting on Harvey Elliott as a midfielder, we are more likely to sign an attacker than a midfielder. But of course it also depends on who is available, so for a transfer this late in the transfer window. And likely if it will be either Shaqiri or Origi who is sold. If Nat Phillips is sold, maybe Liverpool are not buying anyone because we don't need another centre back. We already have like 5 or 6 centre backs. If Ben Davies goes on loan, we still have Reece Williams. I think we will keep him around as backup. Maybe you could make a case for Liverpool trying to buy a right back, because Neco Williams is probably not on the same level as Tsimikas, the left back, who is the backup for Robertson. But if we don't sell Neco Williams, I think it's fine that he's our backup. Hopefully Trent Alexander-Arnold avoids a long-term injury. And of course it's not ideal that Liverpool have to sell players to buy somebody, but I think it makes sense in the pandemic, especially when many clubs are really struggling financially. The only clubs who are not really struggling financially are the clubs funded by oil money or oligarch money in the case of Chelsea, or whatever the rich owners that other clubs are funded by are doing to make their money. But of course it's not an ideal situation, but I would rather this scenario than a Leeds United scenario where a club like Leeds United overspends and then basically their whole team was on sale in like 2003. Similarly to what is actually happening to Inter Milan, because the Chinese investor who is the owner of Inter Milan, his funds got pulled out of under him if you like, and now Inter Milan have a fire sale. Basically their whole squad is for sale, and I wouldn't want to be an Inter fan. I wouldn't trade Liverpool winning a Premier League or a Champions League title to then turmoil for the next 5 to 10 years, because I'm sure Inter Milan fans were expecting the glory days to be back. I remember under Mancini or whoever their manager was at the time, they won a lot of trophies, a lot of Serie A titles, like 5 Serie A's in a row, and Inter fans were hoping for a similar scenario, but now it looks like they are losing their best player Lukaku to Chelsea. He's already in London doing a medical, and that will make Chelsea even more frightening frightening, and they are selling the players. They already sold Hakimi to Paris Saint-Germain as well for a lot of money. So I wouldn't want Liverpool to end up in this scenario. So I would rather the Liverpool owners be sensible and Liverpool be a self-sustainable club, because this way we can be pretty much guaranteed to be in and among the title race, hopefully every season or every 2 seasons at least. And it's great news that it looks like Virgil van Dijk will be the next player to get a new contract, and Fabrizio Romano, the reliable journalist, said on his podcast that Liverpool will be extending the contract of Virgil van Dijk next, and after we extended basically everyone's contracts, then we will sit down with Mo Salah, because Mo Salah probably wants the biggest contract at Liverpool, and when the other players already have new contracts, Mo Salah will probably know what the other players are on, and then he can ask for basically a little bit more money than what Virgil van Dijk is on. And also Jurgen Klopp confirmed that Liverpool will probably start with Virgil van Dijk against Norwich City. It looks like both Van Dijk and Gomez are ready to play 90 minutes, but I think Jurgen Klopp will also wait for what the medical department said. Jurgen Klopp said, I think so, that Virgil van Dijk and Gomez are ready for the start of the season, and they are ready to start. But how it is with these kind of things, we have nothing to rush in this department. We just have to make the decision on the match day on who will start, who will come on, things like this. If Gomez or Van Dijk are ready for 90 minutes, then they are ready to start. If I think we have to take them off earlier, then it makes no sense, because the center half is not usually a position where you want to change midway through the game or midway through the second half. So we will see what the medical department says, but both players look really good. An intense season is coming up. We will see how we decide that. I think it's a very good situation, a very good headache for Jurgen Klopp to have, that we have 4 world-class centre-backs, Matip, Konate, Van Dijk and Joe Gomez, and it will be difficult for Jurgen Klopp to pick out of 2 of those. And if all 4 are ready to play, my preferred centre-back partnership would still be Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk, but maybe Liverpool will err on the side of caution and start only one of them, because both of them got back from very, very long-term injuries. They were out for like 8 or 9 months. And so maybe Konate Van Dijk is a partnership that Liverpool would want to establish early on, but it's always risky to put in Konate on the first game of the season. So I think the most likely scenario is also Matip and Van Dijk, because they started together against against Athletic Bilbao, and they did pretty well, and Matip and Van Dijk is a very good partnership as well. It's, as I said, it's a very good situation for Liverpool to be in. And also another update is that Curtis Jones looks like he will miss the Norwich City game. It's just a precaution. He got a knock in the last preseason game, and he was taken off, and probably Liverpool don't need to risk him. And considering that Henderson and Thiago just got back from their holidays and they got very limited minutes in preseason, I expect Fabinho, Naby Keita and Thiago maybe to start, or Naby Keita, Fabinho and James Milner, Naby Keita, Fabinho and Harvey Elliott. It's hard to make a case for both Henderson and Thiago to miss the first game. Keita and Fabinho are pretty much guaranteed to start, and it's a question who will be the third midfielder. Will it be Thiago, will it be Henderson, or will it be Harvey Elliott? I don't think Liverpool would risk starting with Harvey Elliott, but it could be James Milner as well, because the Liverpool Echo is having a report that James Milner is likely to start against Norwich City, but also it could be that James Milner plays at left back. I really hope that we give Tsimikas a go. I think he should be the player to start at left back, because he has been terrific in pre-season, and you need to reward players for having good games by giving them a start, showing them what they can do, showing them that doing well rewards them playing in the team. And I think Tsimikas would be a great backup for Robertson until Robertson is back. I don't think Milner has the pace to play really well at left back. He's just a stopgap. Jamie Carragher also said that this is the season for Sadio Mane to get back to his best. He said, I'm convinced we will see a different Sadio Mane this year, just for the fact that the crowds are back, the fans are back at Anfield. I thought Sadio Mane's performance in the last game game of the season against Crystal Palace was just night and day from what we saw from him from earlier during the season. It was just that the crowd was back. He feeds off it. I'm convinced that Sadio Mane will be back to his best this season. He has looked really sharp in pre-season. And yes, for the majority of last season, players were playing in empty stadiums, which was like a really soulless Premier League season, and I think many Liverpool players got used to playing in front of crowds, and many Liverpool players actually play better in front of crowds. I think Firmino and Mane are the most obvious cases of this, that they need the crowd to feed off of. They get energy from the crowd, from the roar and everything. But let me know what you think about that. I think Mane and Firmino will be much better this season than last season because of the fact that Anfield will be full or nearly full. And Trent Alexander-Arnold gave a very interesting interview. He said, it is kind of what I wanted to do, having a great second half of the campaign, play well, perform, and have the team win games, whether that's keeping clean sheets, contributing up on the other end of the pitch. This is what I wanted to do, and I was happy I could help the team reach the top 4 for this season. That was the aim going into those last 10 games as a team and individually. I was happy with how I performed. It's always nice to finish the season strongly, but that is the past. We accomplished what we set out to do, which was Champions League football in the end. We have secured that, and that is what mattered to us pushing in those last 10 games. And Trent Alexander-Arnold also said about signing a long-term contract that this is Liverpool is the only club I've ever known, really. So it would be just strange being elsewhere. And it is a privilege to put on the shirt every single day, and I want to retire at Liverpool. He said that many times as well. And he said, for us, we know what we are capable of as a team and as individuals, and it is thinking about that and making sure we get the most out of ourselves as a team and individually. And Trent Alexander-Arnold also pinpointed that last season, he said, we struggled to get rhythm in terms of a settled back 4, but once we did get that towards the end of the last season, you could really tell what we have been working on in training. The clean sheets were coming through, and you could see that we all knew each other and understood how each other plays. But when it is getting chopped and changed every week through injuries and people picking up knocks, it is very difficult to find rhythm and understand each other as back 4, which is what we needed. So to have the lads back at centre back, hopefully find the rhythm, pick a settled back 4 with the options to pick from that the Gaffer has got at his disposal now. Ibrahima Konate has come in now to strengthen that position. So there is a massive fight for places, but to get them 3 lads back, especially from injury, Matip, Van Dijk and Gomez, the hard time that they have had last season is amazing. Van Dijk is a natural leader. He speaks when he needs to speak. He's dominant. He has a presence. You know when he enters a room, he's someone you listen to when he speaks. So that is exactly what you want from a leader. He's someone that a lot of players look up to. He's an amazing athlete, an amazing footballer, as well as being an amazing guy. So he's someone that fits in perfectly. So to have him back now will only be better for us even more. And Konate has impressed Trent as well. He said Konate is very athletic, which is probably more common now. We are seeing with centre-backs being amazing athletes, fast, strong. He ticks all the boxes. He's still young, but he has got a huge potential, and hopefully seeing Van Dijk in training, playing alongside him. Virgil is one of those players you instantly pick things from, like his positioning. So hopefully he will be watching him and picking up things from his game, because there is no better example of a centre-back to pick things up from than Virgil van Dijk, which is brilliant. And it is more our target is in this season. We go into every game knowing we are capable of winning it. We want to get as many wins as possible, and we want to challenge for the title again. We know there will be tough games throughout the season. There will be games when you can't perform perfectly, but we have to be resilient and find a way to win. So that is what we have been working on, trying different things to make sure we are as unpredictable as possible and trying to win in any way we can. And that is what means the most to us. So come on, Liverpool, let's go into the new season and let's win every single game in the opening 3 games, and that way the other teams will probably already be playing catch up. Man City have a really brutal schedule. They are playing a lot of big teams in the first 8 games of the season, and that's where Liverpool can put a little bit of gap between themselves and Man City, hopefully. So that's my aim for the season, for the start of the season. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.